skiing well again, skiing well, and okay, I'm gonna ski a tournament, and then it'd be one little flare up, something would happen, and he had to take a couple steps back and step off the gas for a little bit, let himself continue to heal. But I mean,
well, and from a mental standpoint, injuries like that can be extremely difficult to deal with because if you do an ACL, they're going to tell you, okay, hey, look, we're gonna repair it. You're going to wait, 3 months to really start getting back into activity. It's going to take you close to a year, 9 months to a year to be back to 100%. But and as devastating as that is to hear at that time,
but you get to hear the 100%.
Yeah, you hear the 100%, and you know, okay, by this time, if I've put the work in, which as athletes these guys are going to do, I'll be there. And then yet when you're dealing with a neck or a back, and they're, we're just going to wait and see. We're going to, hopefully it'll get better. Hey, and these are our options. But all of a sudden, when days turns into weeks, turns into months, turns into years, it can take a toll. So, big deal here that Chris Parrish has managed to, withstand that onslaught, if you will, mentally, and answering the question, am I ever going to get back to skiing at the level that I was consistently and be able to, show up and perform? And that's exactly what he's done.
Yeah, and done it in a spectacular fashion. I mean, running some of the nicest 39s that we've seen all weekend. Consistently getting over to 3-ball at 41, and a couple of times being in a position to turn 3 and get the 4, which we saw Nate Smith get all the way over to 5-ball. And Chris is one of the only guys in his field, one of a couple that have actually run. He's a former world record holder and scores of 1 and I think all the way to 2 at 43 off. And Nate Smith actually came in and took away Chris's world record. So I mean,
and I know that Parrish and Nate are friends. We talk about that. These guys are friendly off the water. Now they're on the water, and I think, and it will not be missed. Nate is very aware of, the idea that, hey, this is Parrish's comeback story, and he's going to know about, what Parrish is out here trying to do. From a mental standpoint, I don't know that Parrish got on a plane in Orlando and flew out here thinking, I'm going to go give Nate and these guys a run for their money to win this event. I think it was more about, I want to show up, I'm going to stay internalized on me, I'm going to try and ski well, and then we'll see where I'm at. And I think he's got to be extremely pleased with how it's turned out. What's interesting right now is I'm wondering what his mental state is down there. Is he sitting down there laughing and joking and very happy because he's made it thus far? Or are we going to get the old Parrish that says, job's not done yet? And even if I'm going to stay internalized on me and just say, hey, I'm going to go out here and just ski as many buoys as I can and see where it lays, I'd like to make sure that he's doing that with some intensity and not letting his foot off the gas here. And because I can guarantee you Nate Smith's not letting his foot off the gas.
And as the competitor that Chris is, I can almost guarantee that he's gotten this far and he says, no point in letting up now. And
so before the break, we had a conversation about strategy, and I said Nate Smith was going to be the higher seed. He was going to make a choice, and I figured that he might try to get in Parrish's head a little bit, since Parrish has been running very well today behind Chad Scott. By choosing Nate would then choose Chad and give Parrish the opportunity to ski first, which takes away, again, since we're in his final round, typically the guy going out first has the quarter buoy advantage because the second guy has to beat him. That's washed away right here. So Nate really in the driver's seat. And it would be interesting to, and unfortunately for our viewers, we don't have a crystal ball to know, but my guess is Nate is playing a little bit of a mental game and saying, hey, I'm going to take the driver you're comfortable with right now and put you out here. You didn't get to try 39 from this end because Martin went down at 38. You haven't tried 41 from the other end yet. And I'm going to put you behind a driver you haven't seen since yesterday morning.
And, I mean, had it been any other person or young gun coming in, but it's Chris Parrish. And this guy is extremely accomplished, and I can't imagine how many different scenarios he's been in with runoffs and ties and just everything you can imagine. I guarantee he's experienced all of it out there in the water. So nothing that he hasn't seen before, but he's been away from the game a little bit. He's come back into it, and I mean, Nate is the number 1 seed, and he's going to take that to his full advantage. He won the coin toss, earned the coin toss.
Yeah.
And so he's going to pick what end either kicking off from,
Well, and again, I think there's no question that Parrish has won many a tournament behind Will Busch. We made the comment when the event started that these two drivers are tit for tat, two of the best in the world. But sometimes it's less about, the actual external circumstance and more about the mental side of it. And, I can almost see Parrish down in the hole just being aggravated.
Yeah.
That, why didn't Nate, take the guy I've been skiing behind and I'm comfortable today. So, again, not to say it's necessarily the best sound strategy, but it's a strategy.
Yeah, and we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, obviously, boys opening up, 35 off there should be pretty easy. Both these guys, Nate just kind of standing there on the bottom at the end of the lake.
I'll be honest with you, I'm a little surprised to see that. I'm a little surprised to see that Nate's standing on the bottom, because the reason he's standing on the bottom is he's got his rear. This is a guy that skis with a rear kicker, so he's got his back foot out and he's standing on his left leg. He's a right foot forward skier. So
there's slick bottoms. Yet.
Slick clay bottoms. Now, again, I'm highly doubting this is the first time that he's done this, but it's also interesting they haven't shortened the line yet.
Yeah. Hopefully, don't forget to do that.
Yeah. So Parrish obviously choosing to go first when he went after Nate chose which boat he wanted.
Yep.
Parrish went ahead and chose which order they would have gone in.
Yep.
Now, assuming he wants to go first, again, not so much for the strategy of, hey, I get the extra quarter buoy, but just so he doesn't have to deal with the pressure of Nate ran 4 or 5 at 41. He's going to say, no, I'm going to go try to put up the 4 or 5 at 41 and make Nate chase it. So,
yeah. And Chris is a guy, he skied the last chance qualifier tournament down at Jack Travers back in May and threw down a 4 and got the ski out the 5 ball and got a quarter buoy and unfortunately got beat by John Travers, who went out there and got 4.5. I mean, Chris, he's run this pass, multiple times, but now after coming back through injury, I mean, it's still there. I mean, he still has the potential to get all the way down the line and make Nate really push to get further down the line. And Nate had a big score in the second round of the head-to-head, but he hasn't been as consistent as we usually see him on that 41 off pass.
Yeah, I agree.
We'll see what we have in tail. These boys getting through 38 off. Nice and easy pass.
Honestly, I would tell you, I think it's unusual that we would be at this late stage in this tournament and we haven't seen somebody get through 41. Now, I could be wrong.
Yep.
My memory on recalling everybody's scores over the last couple of years isn't great, but I typically think of this as an event where we see the guys running 41.
Yep.
If not once, maybe even twice in an event. So the fact that everybody is so bottlenecked, as we've seen it all weekend long, has made for a very exciting event. And then, these two guys who had the biggest scores at 41 yesterday, it only makes sense that we're going to bring down this final pairing to these two guys.
Yeah, and it was amazing skiing, and it's been a fun event to watch because really there's been no clear favorite. Everyone could at any point in time could have taken out any of these competitors.
Yeah.
And really with the exception of Stephen Naveau going down early and Martin Tassin going down early, all these head-to-heads have been extremely close, being decided within a buoy of each other. Very impressive skiing by all the guys here. So Chris Parrish coming back in, 39 off.
First time he's seen it from this end. So going to see what he's got for us. A little narrow at 4, but no problem at all for a guy of Parrish's experience there. A little late on 6, but again, course management, 6 is 6. It doesn't pay anymore to be a mile early at 6 versus just squeaking around it. So good skiing there by Parrish. As we see the replay here from Parrish, and I think that little bit here at 4, not quite, just a little hesitation, really, no big deal. But again, Parrish very comfortable with that, knowing he's coming over to his onside.
He's so quick to roll those hips out and roll that ski out from under him. I mean, he was still on that outside on that outside edge of that ski, out past the whitewash, and then it was a very quick transition to get that ski to roll out and out the 5-ball. Hooks up good on his onside and back in around 6. And all right, Nate Smith coming in 39 off.
All right, here we go. Must run for Nate Smith.
All right. And another one.
Very nice, yeah. Interesting battle here between, we've got a lefty and a righty going against each other. Parrish being the left foot forward skier, Nate being the right. So they're going to have opposite sides of the course, so they're strong sides. I'm thinking Parrish is going to need to go real deep on this one. We've seen Nate kind of building up today. I think Nate might be starting to get comfortable, thinking that he wants to get through this pass. So, I'd like to see Parrish get down at a 4 or 5 buoy kind of time frame there to put pressure on Nate.
It's going to be big now. If Parrish if Parrish get hooked up out of 3 and kind of get a piece of 4, we might see what we saw earlier in the year out of him, and hopefully maybe get over that piece of 5 ball and really, when we talk about stepping on the gas, really put it into 6th gear and let it rip. Excited to see what CP's got for us here. He had an amazing start last round. Let's see what or the round before. Let's see what he can do here from this new end of the lake for 41. Nice 1 ball. Rolls it out 2. A little slow at 2. He needs a big 3. Oh,
he got a big 3, but he wasn't able to hold on to the...
So close. He hooked up there at 3, just not able to hold on to that handle there. I know he's a little frustrated because I think he knows the door's open for Nate. But regardless, great to see CP out here and see him in the fashion that he's been. Posting some amazing scores all around. And 2.41 is by no means a walk in the park, or it should be okay, because we've seen Nate struggle a little bit with his 1s at 41 and being his offside turn. So he's going to have to figure out what to do here and make sure he gets a good 1. He can hook up out of 2, and then he's going to have to really kind of take it easy around 3 to get that, make sure he doesn't force himself into a runoff position with getting 2.5.
Well, I think we just heard Parrish kind of say in the background that he said, I just felt like I had to go for it. And I think that's the kind of pressure that Nate puts on this men's slalom field is, Parrish knew, hey, if I safety it at 3, I'm probably leaving the door open as wide as if I fall. So here we go. Nate Smith needs a full 3 at 41 off to take the title. Wow, what a gate.
Good 1. Full 3, ladies and gentlemen.
Nate Smith.
Your champion, 2017 California Pro-Am champion. Impressive skiing, Chris Parrish in 2nd. And then rounding out the rest of our top 8, we have Jason McClintock, Martin Bartowski, John Travers, Joel Howley, Terry Winter, and Stephen Neville.
Okay, so I did get a note passed to me here for our viewers at home if they want to stay tuned for a little bit. There is a chance here that we might, while they're kind of getting the awards put into place there, we might actually get a trick ski exhibition from our women's slalom champion, Brooke Baldwin. So if you are at home and you got a little time on your hands, you'd like to stay tuned, we'd love to have you stay tuned and see if Brooke's gonna do the trick exhibition, and then we'll get on to the awards. In the meantime, Zach and I, we're going to get Nate and Brooke to the awards, but Zach and I are going to sneak away and try and go stretch out a little bit and do a jump exhibition here.
Strap the sticks on, and I think they're planning on throwing a webcast. If you guys want to watch, Freddie and I go out there and go a little head-to-head ourselves and do a little jumping. An amazing event here. A huge shout-out to all the sponsors involved. Nautique Boats, O'Brien. Great finish with the big dog. Nate Smith and Brooke Baldwin both taking out the championships. Huge shout out to the Badal family for organizing this. And, these things, it starts planning for next year as you start planning tomorrow. And so shout out to them and all the officiating crews, the drivers, the athletes. It was a great weekend. Really no hiccups, and it was
as we see Nate Smith coming along behind us here doing the victory lap.
Through.
And there he goes. So, again, do want to say thank you to Greg and Debbie Badal and all the sponsors who have put this forward. It's been an amazing couple of days. Stay tuned. We're going to have another, maybe hour of entertainment here for you guys. And we, on Freddie Krueger, on behalf of Zach Ward, we want to say thank you. Thank you to WebCast-TV, who've done an amazing job all weekend. And thank you to all the people who tuned in, and hope you enjoyed the show. And we look forward to seeing you in 354 days.
All right, we'll see you guys next year. You guys have a good one. Stick around, keep TV on, because we're going to go out there and play around in the lake a little bit. So we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.